we got here.
Yeah, both of them are straight Orzhov decks, so we'll see a large extort fight. Orzhov mirrors are interesting because then the creatures actually become relevant again.
The guys somebody might attack.
Right.
Do we have any tigers? Because I think the tiger's kind of a breaker.
Shuhei has a Zurichi tiger. That card's very good in the mirror.
He's an extort breaker.
What we'll be looking for is cards. Shuhei's deck looks excellent. He has an Angelic Edict, 3 Grizzly Spectacles. I'm a big fan of all of that. 2 and then a 1,000 Lashes and 2 Arrows of Justices. So Shuhei was overloaded on removal.
So he's like the ideal Patrick Sullivan sort of Orzhov deck, which is just sit there and remove creatures.
He just kills everything, yeah.
Does he have any natural sources of card advantage?
He has the Midnight Recovery, but it looks like Walker with the good curve here. The very iconic Orzhov curve of Screecher into Kingpin's Pat.
Yeah, like you said, the creatures might matter when one player's creatures can fly and the others can't. That's obviously pretty important. And then Eddie's also got Shuhei covered 2 extorters to 1. That's really substantial.
Yeah, blind
is
obedience
that 3?
With a single blind obedience only with a single extort. I'm curious what he's leaving up here.
I don't know. Can't even be smiting, right?
Well, what does he have? Yeah.
Let's see.
Could be Beckon Apparition. I'm not sure why there's the second extort, the second mana up there.
Eddie's deck's got some bumps. He's got Death Pact Angel.
Oh wow.
And Obsidian Ghost Council.
So maybe Shuhei
is
not the favorite.
Shuhei's deck is a lot less excellent than we thought a second ago.
Well, to be fair, both those cards, Shuhei can just, he has enough removals that you can just kill them.
It's hard to just kill Death Pact Angel.
Now you can 1,000 Lashes it.
Fair enough.
That's an answer. He can Angelic, it's only on a dies trigger that makes the cleric, so he can Angelic Edict it as well. So he has 2 answers to it, but you're right that some of the other answers are not really as strong. I was looking at his hand, he has a Gateway Shade, he has the 1,000 Lashes, and he's going to use the Lashes right away. He needs to slow down damage. Eddie's really curving him out.
I think this is a dangerous spot for Shuhei, so, knowing all of the bombs in Eddie's deck, that's a highly suboptimal potential target, and
it's kind of a necessary one. He can't, but it is a suboptimal target.
But he's not turning off the grind. There's 3...
Yeah, the extort still
3
works.
extorters there, even if Eddie doesn't want to use them all.
Right. Eddie swings 1, Shuhei drops down to 14.
Let's see, 4 tap down, so this is what you're calling grind, right?
That's actually,
1, 2.
Mark Rosewater in one of his articles talked about how this, this mill until you hit a land ability he refers to as grind. That's why we see the cards like Mind Grind.
Yeah.
Just has that.
So 5 cards down, including Cartel Aristocrat. Anything remarkable? What's the white card?
The white card is a Dutiful Thrall.
Dutiful Thrall.
Yep, so he has a Grisly Spectacle, a Gateway Shade, a Syndicate Enforcer, a Smog Elemental, and that last card appears to be a Night Watch. Yeah, Night Watch is Shuhei's hand. So kind of a large assortment of just dudes.
Fellas.
We'll probably see Syndicate Enforcer with an Extort here, would be my guess. It's just in a Spectacle, the Balustrade Spy. He's really worried about his... What I see here is that he's really worried about his life total.
Yep. So he got his extort off. I really don't understand why Eddie didn't extort the second time on that blind obedience.
Yeah, I'm not sure of that either. It's possible that he just missed that it was there.
Really? I guess on Moto they ask you for every extorter.
Right.
Does he have another Balustrade Spy?
And we see Immortal Servitude Killing Glare in Eddie's hand, and the Death Pact Angel.
And I think a Cryptghast.
Okay,
I believe he has a Cryptghast in his hand, which I think would be
really excellent in Extort. Eddie has no swamps, so it's he has Cryptghast. It's actually not a very strong card here. It's just a 2/2 Extorter. The card is excellent in a lot of Warzone decks because it lets you pay for all your Extort. Yep. I was surprised when I first played with it just how good I felt Cryptghast was.
So Eddie's got that, and
Syndicate Enforcer Extort from Shuhei. Typically, this would be a situation, interestingly enough, Shuhei's swinging here, actually racing back, offering the trade with Cryptghast.
I doubt very much that Eddie's going to take that trade.
He might want to. The problem is that Shuhei has switched roles on him. Shuhei's now become the aggressive deck with the 1,000 Lashes has let him do that. So
what's the blue for?
Another non-swamp Guildgate from non-swamp Black Source from Eddie Walker. He's going to Killing Glare the Syndicate Enforcer.
Are there no blue cards?
He's playing a, what is the splash for?
Just to be tricky?
He's playing it to Mirror Guild Gate, and it does not appear he has any blue cards in his deck. I would agree. I did not see a single blue card. That's strange. I don't understand.
Especially in a Crypt Gas deck?
Does he have any Horror of the Dims? Oh, he has one Horror of the Dim. It's for the
okay.
activation on Horror of the Dim. Alright, so we do see Killing Glare on Syndicate Enforcer with an Extort.
How do you feel about Horror of the Dim?
It's pretty bad.
I think super shrug.
It's a card. You can. It's a creature that's not completely embarrassing to play.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say you just have it for its guy, and then you really need to have the hexproof availability.
I mean, how much do you like the white 3/5? No,
I really don't like him, and people keep playing it.
Right. So this is like a bad version of him. So now making double mana.
Like yesterday, I think you said Siege Mastodon. I'm like, I hated ever playing Siege Mastodon.
So you see Death Pact Angel with Extort from Eddie Walker. The thing is that Eddie is, even if the Extort is at a low enough life total, it's possible that Shuhei can extort him out of the game. That's what he'll have to do. He can't really answer the Death Pact Angel.
Well, Eddie's got Shuhei in 2 swings here, right? Death Pact Angel?
Yeah. Yes, he does. I mean, with some extorts, Eddie wisely is leaving back everything to block, just kind of trying to ride the Death Pact Angel to victory. Shuhei does have a Grizzly Spectacle. Granted, that doesn't permanently take care of Death Pact Angel.
He can do an extort on it and make Eddie suck up a bunch of time.
Right. So he's going to do that. He just wants to get as many 1,000 Lashes activations in as possible.
Sure. So Eddie's left with the token, which is probably not going to block. A 1/1, the Cryptogast, and the 1/2. So he has not really any good blocks here, right?
Yeah, and now he forgot to put the token into play, is that correct?
Is that a miss trigger that Shuhei doesn't let?
I think Shuhei can allow him to miss that trigger.
Which is
huge.
Which is allowable under the current rules, right?
I'm perplexed that Eddie is choosing to block with. So he chooses to block with Cryptogast and chump away his team. So that total must be a lot lower than originally realized. He's at 4.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Shuhei chose to swing with the Syndic and allow for that block.
So Immortal Servitude on 4 for Eddie Walker. No Extort. The no Extort probably. It's not 4 or less. He's going to get Cryptogast, Syndicate Enforcer, and Balustrade Spy.
Oh, well.
Immortal Servitude, typically a card I don't like, but here it's been very good.
I had it once and it didn't do that much for me.
Yeah, Shuhei has Eddie at 2 on the upkeep. He does have a Basilicus creature in hand. He really doesn't need very much.
Was tapping 6.
That's going to be for Smog Elemental. Into play tapped. He's going to send both his creatures, and now this pre-combat Smog Elemental shrinks Balustrade Spy down to a 1/2. Interestingly enough, Shuhei cares about his knights enough that if he played the Smog Elemental post-combat, he almost certainly could have killed the Balustrade Spy. It appears like he'd rather just force Eddie to trade with his extorters. You know.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and I like the way he's played it.
Thinking about how he might potentially lose, given the fact that he only needs 2 more turns of activations on 1,000 lashes.
Drew a land, and seemingly now out of the game. The Death Pact Angel missing. Yeah, that was just a missed trigger on Death Pact.
We have a confirmation that there's no Death Pact Angel token, etc.
Yeah, the cleric is no longer in play.
So, Shuhei.
Basilicus creature
and
and Gateway Shade extort past the turn.
And then that should be it, right?
That should be it. And skillfully played here. I think Shuhei, with actually the worst draw of the two, managing to kind of just maneuver his way into what looks like a victory here.
So worst draw and worst deck.
Yeah, I would say both.
Eddie Walker actually had a tremendous advantage with extorters, got a Death Pact Angel, and then a 3-for-1 with his Immortal Servitude, and
yeah, he had 3 rares. Yeah, was never in it, which is, Shuhei's just that strong of a player.
I mean, missing the Death Pact Angel trigger is pretty substantial.
Yeah, so it's still arrow. It's still a 5/5 fire for 6, at the very least, which is good. Fine card, something I'd easily play.
Limited, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, dragons are still
I like
good.
5/5 flyers for 6.
I play Diluvian Primordial, even though that card doesn't always do anything other than fly. And so, Shuhei looking to his board, I think cards like Dutiful Thrall drop a little bit in value.
I mean, it's not big enough for big combat.
Right.
Patrick Sullivan won his match, so he's actually already I think he's already basically won the lottery.
So he's currently at 13-0. As I said, the magic number for top 8ing is 15. I would say Patrick now confirmed the last undefeated player in the Grand Prix.
And he's now set his sights on 3-0ing with his 13 creature, no battalion, Boros, multiple combat trick.
Wow, and that would be something. It's possible that the entire table has substandard decks, in which case the fact that he has a plan is pretty good.
How do you feel about aerial maneuver? Pat has 2 of them, right? And then Eddie Walker's got it. It seems to me like not a great trick at all.
It's a trick. It's a trick that unfortunately can get blown out. So you can play them. They're fine. If I don't have any rule spells, I will play them. Actually, you know, it's a trick that I can most of the time get some value in. If I'm an aggressive deck, it sometimes can give me, you know, a swing over for the win situation.
Yeah, I think
it's fine. It's low impact though. There's some situations where it won't work as a trick.
I kind of like it, like when you've got Jack in play, and then like maybe a Sky Knight Legionary. You can just like give another dude randomly flying, and then swing in battalion up. You're flying on Jack.
Especially if you have like some of the 5/1s, or
yeah, I mean,
you know, just random things like
livable amount of damage you're getting through with it.
Right. No, the card's playable for sure. So Shuhei's made a couple sideboard changes. I'm trying to figure out what they would have been. It's possible that in this matchup he wants to sort of board in some things like Mental Vapors. Interestingly, here's an interesting thing, actually. Shuhei in his sideboard, he has left 2 Devour Fleshes in his sideboard.
So he's in your camp on Devour Flesh. You're not a huge fan of that.
Not a huge fan of Devour Flesh. Shuhei is an even lesser. he seems to dislike it even more than I do.
So are there crappy cards he could have been playing Devour Flesh
for example, you mean like what things he's running? He's running a Midnight Recovery. He's running a Gateway Shade. He's running a Night Watch. He's running a Nav Squad Commandos. These are all cards I would typically see people play Devour Flesh over.
I would typically play Devour Flesh over a Commandos, but Night Watch, I don't know, it's like a 2-for-1. It's really good against some board positions.
Right. I mean, but you know, Midnight Recovery, that's certainly a card that you might cut sometimes, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, so apparently it looks like they are both mulliganing, I believe. We'll confirm that. It looks like both players are on the mulligan. Okay.
I actually don't think I've ever... I think I might have had to play a Midnight Recovery once, and I had one of my sideboards, which is just so thin for spells.
They're fine.
Like, it's different if you're like some sort of like weird Rakdos brew, and you're throwing 5/1 blood rushes down return.
Gruul, you mean? Oh yeah, Gruul Rakdos. Yeah, I see what you mean.
No, like
Rakdos.
Rakdos. Yeah, you got like Midnight Recovery.
I'm with blood rushes. Good,
yeah, it's
actually.
Insane, right? But like nobody's really that deck.
Like I said, I've lost to it once. It's happened. It's not a good deck.
Like
you're just like blood rushing 5/1s.
I mean, that's actually kind of insane.
Yeah, like if you take it, I'm getting it back. It's coming next turn too. Like
I'm gonna blood rush and Midnight Recovery. This 5
was 5/1.
But blood rush again.
How much? That's a lot of mana at this point. Where it's like,
what was that 10 mana?
Yeah, it's 10 mana. It's 10 mana for plus 10 plus 2.
Pro tip: don't do that.
Now I want to draft this deck of all. It's like, here's how I picture it. It's all Basilica Screechers and Scorchwalkers, and it was like, or Shadow Alley Denizens. So we make it even better. Shadow Alley Denizen. It'd be like, gets Intimidate 5/1.
Yes, I play a lot of Shadow Alley Denizens, and you're like shaking your head.
Because
Learn to draft doors off, kid. Gets Intimidate, gets in there.
So Eddie Walker's on going to 5. Shuhei's contemplating his 6. And he's also going to 5.
Booster draft number 63. Booster draft number 63.
I mean, mathematically, we've been talking about math a lot this weekend. Mm-hmm. Mathematically, the drop from 6 to 5 is such a precipitous one. I mean, like, what hands are you keeping on 5 cards? Like, usually 3 spells and 2 lands, you'll keep almost anything. It's
precipitous for a lot of, it kind of depends on your strategy. So, I mean, if you play it a lot, especially say you have a ramp deck, right? Ramp decks mulligan the worst, I would say, because there's no way to say, You know, imagine back when you had Primeval Titan decks. There's actually almost no ways to turn 4 a Primeval Titan off a 5-card hand. You know,
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, because, well, if you think about it, you know, it's very hard to get an extra land and play a land when you just like don't have enough cards to do that.
You need like a double XL and a bomb, right? And you need to hit all your drops.
Right, and so you'd have to start running all these top decks to do it.
Yes.
So your Farseeks then essentially turn into basic lands or something, your epic growth spells. A lot of things, a lot of strategies really devalue on the mulligan. I would say what especially is true is big drops become even bigger on your hands that are like on your 5-card hands. You know that 6-drop becomes that much worse of a spell because you likely will be keeping a 2-land hand with it.
So yeah, the way I look at it is like most 5-card hands, especially in limited, you'll keep almost any 2 lands 3 spells if you get it in a 5-card hand.
You almost would rather have 4 lands 1 spell.
Yeah, and the thing is that the hand that you mulliganed at 7 was probably better than the hand that you're keeping at 5. Then
it depends, but there's a chance that that's true.
So it's painful. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, at 5, I said on a multi 5, I'm okay with keeping a 5-land hand.
Sure. I've kept a fair number of 7-land hands in limited. And one. And you don't do it all the time. You wouldn't do it against a Boros.
Confirm if they're both on 5. They may both have just been on 6. Okay, they both are on 5s. All right, so we see a Syndic into Gateway Shade for Eddie Walker. And Shuhei on Mono Swamps.
What? He's got all these different arts on his swamps.
I like that.
I know you
I'm
like
a fan.
that. It's terrible.
Yeah, there's not actually a significant competitive advantage going on. So Eddie, because he's the one able to cast creatures, swinging for 6 now, putting Shuhei to 12. That's on a rather quick clock.
The semi-rarely used gate tapping ability.
Under Gateway Shade. Yeah, Shuhei, only swamps and only white cards.
If he had dropped a Phyrexian Obliterator there, no one would be laughing.
Right. Yeah. Some discussing plays here, quick.
It's like, I'm not sure what the dispute is. Is Shuhei saying, like, that looks like a wall, perhaps you shouldn't attack with it?
Yeah. And he's going to purge the profane.
Ooh.
You know, I'm not as big of a fan of this play. I'm more of the fan of tap all my lands, hit you play.
Well, I actually don't like this play at all right now, and the reason is Shuhei's just going to be discarding cards he can't cast anyway. So there's
the game's not these cards he's casting and he's discarding are never going to be cast. So this is actually just not really a card that he's playing.
4 lands, gain 2 life, don't deal an extra several damage.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like this Arrows of Justice in the swamp. Like, what would have to happen for Arrows of Justice to actually have been cast over the course of this game? Because as soon as he hits his white now, which he did now, you know, first Angelic Edict's coming, then 1,000 Lashes is coming, then his creature's coming. So like the 4th spell was going to be the Arrows, and then you're like, you know,
he's going to draw 3 spells, but you know, 3 cards at least.
And by then, yeah, it might even. That Arrows is being cast on like turn 8 or 9 at the earliest. We don't even know if the game's going that long.
I actually like this 1,000 Lashes on the Gateway Shade.
Well, he has to. His life total's so low, and especially with the Extort in play, I don't know if Shuhei has a choice in the matter. White of Precinct 6 with an Extort. Shuhei did not discard a creature, so white is only a 1/1.
That guy has not been great for me. Obviously, there are some decks where he's just fantastic.
Yeah, I really like the card, but it's not universally good. Especially in Orzhov, it can be pretty weak. Orzhov has trouble getting creatures into the yard. Cards like Death's Approach can be weak. And we see Razor Tip Whip with an Extort from Eddie Walker.
Is that a sideboard in?
Yeah, he sided in Razor Tip Whip. It's actually pretty good in Orzhov mirrors.
Sure, because it kind of breaks the Extort war. Yeah, because both Extort decks tend to build these walls. And right now we see Shuhei at 5, essentially at 4 due to the whip. It's going to be really hard for him to... He's going to have to life gain his way past this Extorter and this whip, which is really hard. Passes the turn, goes to 4. Upkeep Eddie goes to 22. Doesn't forget his trigger.
Yeah, I think Eddie's going to get this game.
I would tend to agree with you. So Eddie with 6 lands in play.
Going to pass the turn back. Shuhei virtually at 3.
Smog Elemental, Cartel Aristocrat, and then is that Angelic Edict?
Yeah.
So what do you think he's going to... He's going to Edict somebody,
No,
right?
I think he's going to Cartel Aristocrat. He has to gain life with every play here. His life total is so low that he can't afford a single turn without Extort.
Okay. He's going to attack with his Commando.
Yep, and that one also makes sense. Now that he has 2 blockers, his plan he's on is pretty bad. He's if Eddie draws all lands, Shuhei's gonna hope to draw and extort every turn. And then hopefully probably just bleed Shuhei out. So what Shuhei's gonna have to do is put some sort of clock on him, which is exactly what he did right now. He got the last card of Eddie's hand. It was an extort. Shuhei's now down to 3.
Virtual 2.
Virtual 2. It's still not great. And Syndicate Enforcer.
There's a body.
Well, that's pretty dangerous. Now Shuhei will go down to. Yeah, he's gonna get extorted and pinged here. So now he's at a virtual 1. He can only life gain his way up to 2. Any spell will kill him.
Your standard win box is ready.
And it's a land.
Because now the Edict isn't enough to actually do anything. This doesn't increase. Well, if you start with Shuhei at 3.
What's at 3?
It doesn't increase the clock at all. He's still dead to a spell.
He's got a. Is he?
Because he goes up to 3, he'll get pinged back down to 2. And then pinged to 1, so any spell the extort will kill him.
Okay. So he's thinking about whether he should attack or not. I think he certainly has to attack.
It's the game plan. It's not a good one, but it's the only one.
No, he didn't attack. So Eddie shoots Shuhei down to 2.
The reason I think he doesn't attack is if he attacks back, Eddie can make them trade Syndic of Ties, and then Shuhei's literally dead to Razor Tip Whip.
Spell anyway.
He did the spell?
I believe it's Obsidat though.
So is that
absolute
overblown?
Okay. Yeah. Just Obsidat.
Yeah, I drew a spell. It's a good one too.
I actually don't think I would have played that Obsidat if I were Eddie. He has a 19-point margin right there.
I would
probably
not
gonna. Why does he have to show Shuhei a card that's probably, I don't know, top 1 Orzhov cards?
I mean, top 1 sounds about right.
By the way, I also have the top 1 Orzhov card in case you were strategically wondering whether you should hold your Angelic Edict. The answer is you should.
He has both the Orzhov mythics. Remember, each guild with 2 mythics, I believe, in the set. He has both of them for Orzhov.
Let's see here. Yes,
they each have their guild leader, and then they have 1 other mythic.
I can't. Oh man, Alms Beast. That guy's like
not mythic.
He's like not even. He's
good.
Rare.
He's good.
I like him. Don't get me wrong. So you said you like Alms Beast more than Treasury Thrall.
Definitely. Treasury Thrall is like a 4/4. It's like the body's pretty awkward on Treasury Thrall because a lot of these Orzhov decks, like a 6-drop, I don't even really like 6-drops in my Orzhov decks because I can't extort them.
You can't extort them.
So I don't get to extort.
Play 18 lands though, right?
Yeah, but it's not that I don't play enough lands to extort with them. It's just like the pacing of the game happens that instead of having that 6-drop, I'd rather just have like another Syndic of Ties as my draw. Really? Just like a lot of times, if I'm in board situations where it's like I'd rather just have a Smite, a low drop that I can, maybe let me put it this way: Kingpin's Pet. What's better, Kingpin's Pet with triple extort or Treasury Thrall on 6 mana?
Obviously, Kingpin's Pet's better.
With triple extort, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with 2 extorts, it's like even with 2 extorts, it's probably a better card.
I've never passed a Treasury Thrall, and I've never activated a Treasury Thrall. Like I've gotten him online, and just like even whether winning or losing, I didn't want to attack him into their Gruul stuff,
You mean just like all the other extort creatures, he sits at home?
Yeah, and like he has like all this text that I'm not using.
Right, and even the power and toughness you're hardly using.
No, he's not. He's smaller than the crappy Gruul guys that he's competing with at that point in the game.
Right.
Like they're like nth pick common guy can just rumble with it, or like double block off an Ember Beast.
Right. So I feel like this is one of the most overrated cards in. Or Treasury Thrall is like very disappointing because he doesn't play nicely with the strategy. Orzhov doesn't attack.
He's still good. He's just like
so like. If I have a Death's Approach in my deck, I'm fine casting him, extorting with him once, swinging, getting back Death's Approach. Great. Okay, mission accomplished.
I have tried this. It's not worked for me.
The coolest thing I've done is one time I was playing an Orzhov deck with a splash of some Prophetic Prisms, and I soul ransomed, and they paid the ransom, and then I drew a Treasury Thrall off the ransom, and I was like, whoa! I was like, I remember those. That was
this
my
only
cool
happens in the
play.
movies.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to ransom you again.
There are thousands of people watching, and not one of them is naive enough to believe this story.
It literally happened. So I thought that was great.
Watching, so they're like, I don't think Matthias is telling the truth.
He just makes up stories.
He just makes it up. He had a Treasury Thrall. He drew 100 cards with it. He drew
I think you should first pick it every time. The end. Like.
And he had all the Manus colors. pieces you needed in artifact form.
So you see right of Precinct 6 Ready Walker. He actually is on a monocard deck. It looks like he has, is that Slate Street Ruffian?
How do you value Slate Street
I
Ruffian?
hate that card. He has 2 in his deck. That's
I
a
have
Slate.
seen more arrows of justice pointed at that guy this weekend. I'm like, really?
It's just Grey Ogre.
It's just that don't block. Like,
It's like not any, it's hardly different from
It's
Grey
just
Ogre. So
nothing.
Shuhei still edicts it. And then plays Gateway Shade. So yep, see right there, no blocks. Goes to 18. And
okay,
you see-
what do you want to bet that guy eats a removal spell?
that Gateway Shade was a
No, the
Slate
Slate
Street
Street
Ruffian.
Ruffian.
Oh man, that would, if I'm Walker, I would be thrilled. if
That
happened.
Arrows of Justice is like, I've got a ruffian. He's taking a bead on the ruffian's
So one of the reasons,
forehead.
by the way, Shuhei, why he would burn the edict on the way to Precinct 6 is because he had the 1,000 lashes in hand.
Fair enough.
And it's like, you know, you have to sequence those plays in that order, because you really don't want.
Yeah, no kidding.
You don't want
Oh, I think I will sacrifice this guy.
So now Shuhei has a decent clock going. His hand is all removal spells. It is Midnight Recovery, Smite, Arrows of Justice, Grisly Spectacle.
I'm telling you, that Grey Ogre is gonna be a
It's
black and blue
It's
ogre.
going to eat
in
a
minute.
removal spell. So you see Balustrade Spy milling another Devour Flesh.
Oh, that is
Shuhei is
the
very happy to
sweetest.
get that off the top of his deck.
I bet a second ago he's like, I hope I don't draw this other stupid Devour Flesh.
Gateway Shade actually can attack here, and you can represent the you can hold up Arrows of Justice with the planes he's just drawn.
You want to play the land first, right? Is he saying go?
Yep.
Well, he didn't
He's
play
holding on to the land. He's seen Purge the Profane. Game 2,
yes, of
which is I
course.
think why he's holding on to the land.
So,
And now Eddie has few attacks. Eddie's dealing 2 damage a turn with the flyer. Shuhei actually doesn't have an attack because Shuhei probably arrows the flyer. And Shuhei's dealing 1 damage a turn with 1,000 lashes, so Shuhei's still ahead on the board with this line.
yeah, but I mean, Eddie could send in his Grey Ogre. He's
We
going to get a
have to
card
block.
out of
We
it.
have to block and discard. It's really tragedy. The thing is that you only have to discard when you're okay with it. You're like, oh yeah, 3rd planes. I'll discard 3rd planes. It's all, we're fine.
So, extort.
No, he
is
doesn't
there-
have an extorter. He thought he had one.
This
He paid for
time-
the extort, and I was like, wait, I don't have one yet.
This time we're going to. There's no extorter.
And there is, just for the record, there is an Obsidian in Eddie's hand. Shuhei should be fine with that. His Gateway Shade is being a great wall. A great wall.
Wait.
It's doing a really good job of just holding it for it.
You think that Shuhei should be fine with an Obsidat in Eddie's hand?
Doesn't he have Grisly Spectacle? Yeah, he has a Grisly Spectacle. I mean, fine is, I guess, a relative term. The thing he's not fine with is Eddie playing 5 Extorters. That's way scarier than Obsidat for his deck right now. Because he can deal with that, but he can't deal... If Eddie just doesn't attack or block and just starts extorting Shuhei, that's how Eddie's going to win the game.
Is that Cartel Aristocrat?
That's Cartel Aristocrat.
Chris Canova and Tom Folks, your standard win box is waiting for you.
So now he'll hit with Gateway Shade for the free damage, I believe.
At the meeting place.
Thinking about it.
I think this game's looking pretty bad for Shuhei. I think that he just doesn't have a good way to deal with Extort right now. He doesn't have the clock to race 2 Extorters.
Did he
and
just
he knows it.
pass
Now he's
the
thinking.
turn?
Yeah, he
No,
just
he's
passed
got
the turn.
removal cards to potentially kill the Extorters, though, right?
Yeah, it's not really how he wants to be using them, you know. But and kind of he does have a smite. He can't really block the flyer. He can't stop all this extort that's happening. His clock, which is 1,000 lashes, is no longer a clock. He's behind.
All right, so what do we got? Ooh, he's
gonna
spectacling the
That
bat.
is, and remember,
Oh,
Death Pact
Death
Angel.
Pact Angel.
Well, Eddie does not actually have the 2nd white yet for Obsidat.
And Sean Park, can you please report to
So,
silence?
what are they? Are they talking about maybe some extort damages?
I think they were confirming who is what life total.
Fair enough. Shuhei looks like he's going to send it with his Gateway Shade this time. And he's drawing a block, pumping it up. And what trick is that, Bias?
What do we have here? So,
Is that Aerial Moon? No.
a smite.
Oh, it's a smite.
Yep, he's going to cast Cartel Aristocrat post-combat. So, we have, yeah, now Cartel Aristocrat, that opens the door for Eddie to start to be able to attack here. And Shuhei will go to 12.
Oh, Eddie is a second white, and it looks like opposite at Ghost Council's just hit play. He's draining Shuhei for 2. He's probably going to blink this guy
and he extorted it. Yep, it's just going to blink it. He's seen Angelic Edict already out of Shuhei. No reason to do anything but just flash it and drain it every turn. And Shuhei now, without the Grisly Spectacle, is in a world of trouble.
You got second Cartel Aristocrat?
Yeah, second Cartel Aristocrat. If he wants to, that means he can. He could play Midnight Recovery and start looping there. You know,
for
like
what?
sack Cartel Aristocrat.
To deal 2?
Yeah. I mean, the bigger problem is that this Obsidat's gonna destroy him.
Well, yeah, if he does that, he wouldn't be able to defend the Obsidat. The Obsidat would then start attacking, right?
Right. I mean, the problem is like Obsidat stealing 2 life a turn is a huge clock already. You know, that's a 4-point life swing every turn.
He's got like built-in extort.
Yeah, it's built into extort.
Double extort.
The card's insane. It's one of those things like you don't really realize how good it is until you play across from one, and then you're just like, this is unbeatable. Oh my gosh, like.
He stays home.
It's just the worst. You're just like no matter what he chooses, it's awful for me. Because you can't attack, because if you attack, you get smacked with a 5/5. And you can't not attack, because then he 4-point life swings you every turn. It's just like there stops being good answers.
You just got to remove it on their turn.
Right, when they cast it, you need an instant speed. You need Grisly Spectacle, which unfortunately Shuhei had, but doesn't have anymore. That's like really one of the only cards that deals with it.
So, even if he blocks here, he's going to have to discard, right? I don't know, how much does he care about that?
Not much at all. It's a plains. Like I say, the cool part about Slate Street Ruffian is you only have to discard when it's actually, you know, when you want to.
So, smiting and then keeping his other guy alive. Eddie's going to blink out the Obsidat, and I think that you're right. I think that
Shuhei does have 3 Grisly Spectacles in his deck, and all he'll need to do is draw one of them, but he does not have very much time to do so. He's going to start that Midnight Recovery loop going on. So yeah.
Raised at number 1.
He's looking at Cartel Aristocrat and Gateway Shade. He doesn't have the land yet, so he's going to go Cartel Aristocrat. Hit for 2.
He's certainly
he's got to be worried.
2, right?
Arrows. I mean, Arrows of Justice is a card, so he's maybe debating whether or not he wanted to play that pre-combat, the other Aristocrat, just to protect his first one.
Well, I mean, shouldn't he have played it?
I think
like
so.
Against
I'm
Devour
trying to
Flesh?
figure out what he's playing around. Yeah, I think. I mean, he's obviously representing a spell.
Eddie would have responded to the.
Right. So Devour Flesh, arrows would have been a more reasonable had he had an Arrows of Justice.
He's just gonna sacrifice, sure.
And I don't like that attack. Oh yeah, no, attack's fine. I'm just kidding. That's great.
So Shui's drawn. What did he draw?
I think he drew Grisly Spectacle, and he did.
Ooh.
So he may be back in this game. He's going to go down to 3, but he actually, it looks like, I think Shuhei's going to pull this out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So he's going to put Eddie down to 17, get back Grisly Spectacle, not forget the ping, hopefully. Ping's happening, so it's net 1. Actually, net 2, right? Because he's going to gain 2.
Damage. He gained 2, so that's 1 damage. And Arrows now
Arrows of
drawn by
Justice?
Walker. Yeah, but the problem is, like, Cartel Aristocrat, I don't know if you've ever had a Cypher card on it before. Cartel Aristocrat's one of my favorite cards in the set. I think it's really underrated. That's a card I'm happy to first pick, actually. Yeah, it's so good here. Because, like, think about this combo that's going on right now. How do you kill Cartel Aristocrat?
He keeps getting prot.
Yeah, and then it keeps getting back more things to give itself more prot. It's like the card's impossible to kill right now, and it's going to put his whole his whole library just back on top, like graveyard back in his hand.
It's like Sam Black said when he made that deck, the Aristocrats. It exploits the most powerful mechanic in Magic: sacrificing your own stuff.
There are no creatures in his graveyard right now, so he's going to swing for time to push damage. So he swings for 3, 6. Okay, Arrows of Justice at Gateway Shade. And he's Arrows adjusting the Gateway Shade Eddie Walker. I believe he's doing it. I did it pre-combat, so then yeah, Shuhei did get the gateway shade back. It's possible he may have wanted to let Shuhei resolve the damage and then arrows it and still in the combat step so that he can't get the regrow off it. Eddie Walker will try to keep you updated on life totals. We believe at 18 right now. Shuhei needs to act fast because remember he doesn't have any life gain right now. So all it takes is a few, Eddie Walker to draw 3 spells right now, or maybe 2 spells if the first one has extort. So Eddie will say no blocks. And Shuhei pumping.
Puts two into the shade. So Shuhei sacrifices Cartel Aristocrat to Cartel Aristocrat, then triggers Cypher,
Commander number 6.
and
Commander number 6.
he's going to replay Cartel Aristocrat, I believe.
Commander number 6.
So he's explaining what just happened today. Right. Sacrifices before damage occurred.
Just to give him protection.
Replaying it.
Jacob Sony and Brett Best. Brett Best, please make your way over to the meeting point. Again,
now, on the other hand, Shuhei can essentially, if he manages to draw an extorter, he will essentially ensure his victory. And there we go.
That extorter?
Yeah, because Shuhei.
Oh,
that's why
he made the sacrifice.
Why he made the sacrifice. Because now when he loops, he's going to gain a life every turn.
This is an exciting comeback. He went through Obsidat, incidentally killed Death Pact Angel.
Midnight Recovery is one of like the sleeper playable Cypher cards. I've seen it going last pick in drafts, and I can't imagine that will continue to be true for very long. We see Cryptcast with an Extort from Eddie Walker. It's great news for Shuhei that he has that Basilica Screecher in play, otherwise he would be dead to any top deck spell right now. Nonetheless, I'm trying to think if is Walker playing a Shadow Slice or anything in his deck that could win on the spot?
Nope, not in his deck.
Okay, just checking it. I don't think he has. Doesn't look like he has something that can deal with it. He could have Aerial Maneuver. If he draws an Aerial Maneuver, I think he can pull this game out.
I mean, Shuhei can.
We'll see if Shuhei swings with the Screecher.
Gain prod at any time. Like, oh, you mean he goes to the back?
No. He takes. Oh yeah, because this is a lethal swing right now. Probably Eddie could maneuver a guy, single extort, so he doesn't have to make a block here, and then swing lethal possibly, because the maneuver would represent 4 damage. If Shuhei does not leave a flyer back.
Oh, well.
Now it doesn't matter. Shuhei's got another extort.
So he's extorting him down to 8.
What's more important is that Shuhei's going to 4 and will soon be up to 6 at the end of combat. And I don't think Eddie has any way to kill him from 6. I like how Shuhei played to his out. He needed to draw another Grisly Spectacle. Was able to do so. Remember, he has 3.
Yep.
It's not an unreasonable top deck.
So Shuhei is trying to figure out if he can attack in such a way that he can just finish it this turn, I think. Attacking with 2 Cartel Aristocrats, the Gateway Shade, and the Screecher. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then whatever he puts into the shade. And then Eddie's going to have to be a little bit careful that he doesn't just walk into a spot where Shuhei can sacrifice a creature and kill him with the extorts.
Right.
The shade could be up to 5 here. Is that right? This is potentially an attack for 10. Eddie's going to he has to throw his Syndic in front of the shade.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have any good plays here. I don't know what he's playing to as an out. Shuhei's assembled a pretty powerful engine here. He doesn't really have a good way to interact with. He can survive for this turn, but the next turn is going to be pretty impossible.
And then Shuhei sacrificing Cartel Aristocrat, regrowing it.
Competitors, your pairings for round 3 are now.
And then you're gonna play in single extort. It looks like.
Also post on Twitter
if he's gonna make that play, would it have been better to just sacrifice the Syndic of Tides? Oh no! Now he has 2 defenders. Right. Okay. He's just covering all the bases.
Doesn't really matter. An Executioner swing drawn. Shuhei Nakamura defeats Eddie Walker 2 games 1. A really good comeback against a deck laden with mythic rares.
I almost feel like Shuhei won that match 0-3. Like,
to be fair, Shuhei's deck's very strong.